We often see police officers as pillars of our communities, individuals we are taught to trust implicitly from a very young age. They are the ones we call in our moments of greatest fear and vulnerability, expecting them to arrive with a sense of order and protection. The uniform itself is a powerful symbol, meant to represent integrity, bravery, and an unwavering commitment to public service. This deep-seated trust is the very foundation of a functioning society. It allows for a sense of security, a belief that no matter what goes wrong, there is a line of defense dedicated to making it right, a force for good working on our behalf. However, beneath this veneer of institutional honor, a more complex and troubling reality can sometimes fester. What happens when the very people entrusted with upholding the law decide to break it? This is the paradox of police corruption, a betrayal that strikes at the heart of our societal contract. It's not about a single mistake or a momentary lapse in judgment. It is a conscious choice to exploit a position of immense power for personal gain, turning a symbol of protection into a tool of oppression. This abuse of power shatters the trust we so readily give, leaving a wake of cynicism and fear in its place. The ways in which this power can be misused are as varied as they are disturbing. It might begin with something seemingly small, like accepting a free meal or a small payment to look the other way, but this can easily escalate into more severe forms of misconduct. An officer might start providing protection for illegal operations, tampering with evidence to secure a wrongful conviction, or even directly participating in criminal activities themselves. These actions are a world away from the serve and protect mantra we so often hear, creating a shadow system where justice is for sale and the law applies only to those without the means to bribe their way out of it. This betrayal is not just an abstract concept, it has profound and devastating consequences for ordinary people. Imagine being pulled over and having drugs planted in your car by an officer trying to meet a quota or settle a personal score. Consider a small business owner forced to pay protection money to the very officers who are supposed to be safeguarding their livelihood. These are not far-fetched scenarios from a television drama. They are real-life experiences that can destroy lives, families, and entire communities, leaving scars that last for generations and making the idea of justice feel like a cruel joke. One of the most insidious aspects of police corruption is the curated image of morality that often conceals it. In public, especially when cameras are rolling, corrupt officers can be masters of performance. They might appear on the local news, speaking eloquently about their dedication to cleaning up the streets, or be featured in a community outreach program, smiling and shaking hands with children. This carefully constructed public relations facade is designed to reinforce the image of the trustworthy hero, the dependable guardian of the peace. It's a powerful form of misdirection that makes it incredibly difficult for the public to suspect any wrongdoing. Behind this polished exterior, however, a completely different person can exist. The officer who speaks of justice on television might, in private, harbor deep-seated prejudices, jealousies, or a simple, insatiable greed. These hidden motivations become the true driving force behind their actions. A personal vendetta against an individual could manifest as a campaign of harassment under the color of law. A deep-seated racial bias could lead to wrongful arrests and disproportionate force against people from a particular community. The uniform provides the perfect cover to act on these dark impulses, all while maintaining a public persona of unimpeachable character. This duality is a calculated act. Corrupt officers understand that their power is derived from public trust, and they become adept at manipulating it. They learn what to say, how to act, and when to put on a show of compassion or professionalism. They might be the first to volunteer for a charity event, or the one who seems most passionate about a new anti-crime initiative, all while secretly plotting how to exploit their position. This performance makes them seem above reproach, and it often means that when accusations do arise, they are met with disbelief from a public that has been thoroughly convinced of their integrity. The stark contrast between the public image and the private reality is where the greatest damage is done. It creates a confusing and often painful reality for victims. When an individual is harmed by a corrupt officer, they are not just fighting against one person. They are fighting against the powerful symbol that person represents and the public goodwill that has been so carefully cultivated. Their claims may be dismissed as the ramblings of a disgruntled citizen or a criminal trying to evade justice. This manipulation of perception isolates victims and allows the corruption to continue, hidden in plain sight behind a friendly smile and a well-rehearsed speech. The harm caused by police corruption spreads like a poison through the fabric of a community, inflicting deep and lasting wounds on innocent people. One of the most direct and frightening examples is the act of a false arrest. An officer, perhaps motivated by a desire to close a case quickly or to retaliate against someone, might plant evidence or coerce a false confession. An innocent person can have their life utterly destroyed in an instant. They face the terror of imprisonment, the crippling cost of a legal defense, and the permanent stain of a criminal record that can follow them for the rest of their lives, all because an officer chose to abuse their authority. Beyond individual acts of malice, corruption can evolve into a more organized and systemic problem. Some officers may form alliances with criminal organizations, offering them protection from investigation and arrest in exchange for a share of the profits. This creates a terrifying scenario where the line between law enforcement and organized crime becomes blurred. The very people who are supposed to be fighting gangs are, in fact, enabling them. This allows illegal activities like drug trafficking and extortion to flourish, making neighborhoods more dangerous and eroding any sense of safety for the residents who live there. This breakdown of trust has a corrosive effect on the entire justice system. When people in a community believe the police are corrupt, they stop cooperating with them. Witnesses become unwilling to come forward for fear of retaliation, not from criminals, but from the police themselves. Victims may choose not to report crimes at all, believing that it is pointless or that they might even be targeted for speaking out. This silence creates a vicious cycle where crime rates can rise, and the police, now alienated from the community they are meant to serve, become even less effective, further justifying the public's mistrust. Ultimately, this erosion of faith can lead to a complete breakdown in community relations. When a significant portion of the population views the police not as protectors but as an occupying force, the potential for conflict and unrest grows dramatically. Every interaction becomes fraught with tension and suspicion. Minor incidents can escalate into major confrontations. The sense of a shared society, where everyone is working together for the common good, is replaced by a feeling of us versus them. This division is one of the most profound and damaging legacies of unchecked police corruption, leaving communities fractured and deeply wounded. In response to the growing awareness of this deep-seated problem, governments are finally beginning to implement more robust strategies to combat police corruption. A key focus of these new initiatives is on prevention, starting from the moment a recruit applies to join the force. As seen with recent UK government plans, there is a push for much more thorough and enhanced vetting processes for police applicants. This involves deeper background checks to uncover any past links to criminality or misconduct, ensuring that individuals who have already demonstrated a disregard for the law are blocked from ever wearing a badge and wielding its authority in the first place. Furthermore, there is a growing recognition that corruption cannot be fought without dedicated resources. Governments are now allocating significant new funding to specialized internal affairs and anti-corruption units. For example, the expansion of bodies like the UK's Domestic Corruption Unit, with an injection of £15 million, is a tangible step. These units are staffed with investigators who are specifically trained to uncover illicit activities within law enforcement and other public bodies. Armed with increased budgets and a clear mandate, they can more effectively pursue complex investigations into bribery, extortion, and links to organized crime that were previously underfunded and ignored. New policies are also being introduced to enhance transparency and address potential conflicts of interest that have long been shrouded in secrecy. The move by London's Metropolitan Police to require officers to declare membership in organizations like the Freemasons is a prime example. While controversial, the goal is to bring potential loyalties and allegiances out into the open, addressing public perception that such affiliations could compromise an officer's impartiality. The aim is to ensure an officer's primary loyalty is always to the public and the law, not to a private club or secret society. Exposing corruption is the first and most crucial step toward rebuilding the sacred trust between the police and the people they are sworn to protect. It is a slow and arduous process, but it is essential for the health of our society. By implementing stricter vetting, funding independent investigative bodies, and demanding greater transparency, we can begin to root out the rot. It sends a clear message that no one is above the law. Only by holding every officer to the highest standard can we hope to restore faith in the badge and ensure that law enforcement truly stands for justice and protection for everyone, not just a select few.